Yep.
And which one are those?
You get the Twilight creams.
Okay.
Those are those sandwich cookies that you love that are chocolate covered.
Victory Headquarters.
Victory Headquarters.
Victory
right.
Headquarters.
That is correct.
You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, my name is Imam Akil Mateen of
Okay.
United Muslim Inc. and Masjid Al-Shifa in Newark, New Jersey.
All right. And you were instrumental in helping to close down the liquor store.
Well, I was a part of the team.
Part of the team.
That contributed.
That
That we understood this was a marathon and not a sprint.
Yes.
That we were here to stick it out, no matter how long it took, because we were not going to accept this liquor store in this community.
So you see a new growth for the community.
I see a new growth for the community because us coming together is what it takes.
Yes.
And God,
of different faiths.
Of different faiths.
Yeah,
God says in the COWHN, let there arise out of you a band or a group of people enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong. They are the ones who will be successful. And that's what we did. A group of us came together and we were successful.
I guess so many people don't understand when you close or work to close something of that magnitude, that they just see a liquor store, but they don't see what's breaded from the liquor store. All the chaos that comes and anarchy that comes after the liquor store is open. Can you share some of that with us?
All the side effects.
Yes.
All the side effects of the wrong type of people. We worked on this community for years, and I grew up in this community.
Okay.
And we worked in this community for years as far as with the children, with religious classes, physical education classes, boxing and karate,
Yes.
academic classes, and we're working on our future. And anyone who doesn't care for the future can't care for the children. Anyone who don't care for the children can't care for the future. So we saw our children being influenced by this liquor store, who were not only going to sell liquor, but they're going to be selling candy simultaneously.
Sure.
So the children will grow up going into the store and patronizing the store, buying candy and then soda, and then elevating that to liquor later on.
Yes, and then other things after.
And other things afterwards.
Yes, just looking for something even stronger to rush them to death.
Today.
Basically the same. Let me ask you something, brother. You've been in this city here for, imagine, all your life?
Since I was 5.
Since you was 5.
And I can tell you how old I am.
Okay. In South Ward.
South Ward. I went to Miller Street School when it was a part of the South Ward.
Okay.
And 4 of my siblings went to South Side.
Okay.
And it was changed to Shabazz.
Shabazz, yes. Let me ask you that when we look around the country, and we see the cities such as this right here is Newark, New Jersey, but cities on the same magnitude in terms of infrastructure, growth, taxi, airport, train, bus, and all these different things, businesses. I often wonder if the people in the city can't get it together, then is that like a door towards outright destruction? That shouldn't they be able to, because, like if you go deep into Pennsylvania, people don't normally travel too far from their jobs. And you understand me? And when, most people that live in suburbs 2 hours away or whatever, work in cities, housed like Newark and Detroit or whatever. Why is it that the money seems to be here, the infrastructure is here, but it don't seem some reason that there's so much violence and things and stuff, and where people that live in the city don't seem to enjoy the fruit of the labor of the city? I don't get that.
Well, we believe that's by design. See, one of the things we have to do, we have to start grassroots and teach ourselves to love one another.
Yes.
What happens is some people think they get successful, and the first thing they want to do is get away from their own people.
Yes.
And that's unfortunate. So when they do that, they're feeding into the system of not building. And God says in the Quran, He won't change the condition of people until they make an effort to change it themselves.
Yes.
So we have to see what's affecting us, and we have to make an effort to change it. We can call on God,
yes,
but God helps those to help themselves.
And I sometimes have long talks about this here, that the cities is actually our last economic stronghold.
It really is.
And so many people, do not understand. They think 2 hours away, 3 hours away, but 2 hours and 3 hours away work in the city.
Yes.
In other words,
yes,
it's like if I was a squirrel, right, and I got nuts from, let's say, Morton Street.
You can bring them all the way to Johnson Avenue.
Right, I would bring them over. You understand me? So without without Morton Street, then Johnson Avenue, my friends could not be fed. But people don't seem to
Understand that.
understand that. Is that by design?
It's by design because there are two things going on.
Go ahead.
One is the Board of Education, and I'm indicting not the teachers, but the system.
Okay.
The system doesn't teach economics. Our children finish colleges and some of the best universities in the country, and we're seeing that now. Some of our children, they're not all in the streets. They're guided by their parents and by faith. They're teaching, they're going to the best university in the country,
Sure.
but they come out begging for jobs.
Yes.
They're not being taught how to go into business and run a business for themselves.
Yes.
They come up with a resume instead of a business plan.
Yes.
So that's a part of the economic
And a
factor.
lot of self-hate I'm noticing too.
That's-
Because you know, when they often
that's the
talk
second
about us black folk and minorities
That's
going
the
to
second.
school, I used to be champion for it. But I've met so many of them that went. So I don't know. I said, well, you know what? You might have been better off, you know what I mean, just working at Jim Blow's factory because you come out with a lot
A
of
miseducation. See,
miseducation.
that we call it, Carter G. Woodson wrote the book, The Miseducation of the Negro.
Yes.
That is a factor transpiring today. And Dr. Naeem Akbar rewrote the book, Miseducation of the Negro. And we have the miseducation of the Muslim as well, and that's an issue in itself. So what's transpiring is they're not being taught their history.
Yeah.
And if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going.
Well, let me
Other
ask you-
people planning for you.
Let me ask you this right here. I mean, the journey has been long. It's been a
This
long
particular
journey.
journey for the,
Well, not just for the liquor store. I'm just
Okay.
talking about the journey of
Itself.
of
Yes.
African American people and minorities in the United
Okay.
States. By now, shouldn't each and every one know the game by now? I mean, I think I would know it. I would know something about the
well,
game.
the thing is, they've been put to sleep with pacifiers. And some people are actually selling out, being paid off. Like the liquor store here locally, there were bribes trying to be made to some of the religious leaders. And that has happened in some of the leadership.
Sure.
Some of the leadership have actually sold out. Betrayal by no other name but betrayal.
Yes.
So they get a high-paying salary job, and they forget about where they came from,
Sure.
and they forget about their people and their circumstances, and they turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to helping their people. And that's in politics, that's in business, and we want to be all-inclusive,
Sure.
but we're being excluded at the same time.
What can we do? If you look at the three prominent holy books, you look at the Torah with Moses, the Gospel with Jesus, and the Quran with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, that these books was written where the common man could get an understanding.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now, how do we get, what book or what can we write to get the common man, mainly the minority, to understand the game? Because see, his foolishness now, and his foolishness is going to hurt him in 30 years. You understand?
It's hurting him now.
Going to need a passport to get back in.
His foolishness is hurting them now.
Yes.
Right? We have to look at these scriptures and apply them to our lives and not so much look at them as they were yesteryear.
Sure.
That's a part of the factor. When we look at the Bible and look at the Quran, I don't think about an Arab in the desert.
Sure.
I think about me in Newark.
Yes.
And this is a desert.
Yes.
But also Mecca was a place of commerce.
Yes.
Mecca was a place of prosperity.
Yes.
In the desert.
Sure.
There was an oasis in the desert. And that's what we can build here in Newark and in the cities. Because like you said
But isn't
earlier,
it like a Zamzam well already in the cities with economics?
Right, but however, the other people are taking it out the city
Yeah.
and taking it to the rural areas, as you mentioned earlier. And we have to show the next generation coming behind us the opportunity here by training them early.
Sure.
Training them early. And we're doing that with our young people, teaching them mental, physical, and spiritual development.
Yes.
And that's why locally here in Newark, we didn't want that liquor store to undermine the physical, spiritual, and mental development of our children.
Okay.
We have to invest.
So was no harm really, wasn't really a slight against the owner.
Not
of
against business,
the
period.
business,
But that type of business.
That type of business don't need to
So
be
we're
here.
not anti-business.
Right, right.
We anti that type of
Yeah,
business.
yeah. And we're sorry that owner of the store could not sit down and come to a meeting maybe one day maybe one day, you know how this is, when truth is,
And come to the realization
Yes.
that we're not accepting that type of business in this
yes,
community.
yes, no more.
No more.
And yes, we can do anything we
Yes,
want.
we can.
Yes, we
And
can.
yes, we shall.
Yes, we
And
can.
yes, we did.
Okay, keep
We
hope
did.
alive. All right. Good night.
Good night.